Hello, everybody. Welcome again to the Everything About Everything podcast, episode number 12. I am your host, Chauncey Eugene Sims Jr., and this is my co-host,
Lamar Dyer.
Today we have a guest. Please introduce yourself, sir.
Hello, my name is Carson Alexander Eisen.
All right.
Hello.
So, how's everybody this week?
Oh man, I am good. It's the weather is starting to brighten up and get a little hot. So I'm enjoying myself. Getting a new bike so I can get my ride on and get some stuff. Yes, get a new bike.
About time, sir.
What?
You were without for so long, and then you finally got a bike, and then it was ruined again.
Yes, I know. I'm kind of hard on bikes. I'm a big dude.
I've been giving Lamar a ride today because I just got a new car starting off the week. And he told me basically the bike bent due to the over excursion of Lamar's weight.
Now I know that you can't see Lamar now, but if you go into previous episodes, you will see how large this individual is, and he could do some damage to a bike. 100%. I haven't ridden a bike for a while now, so I don't know. I know nothing about this. Well, no, I don't. Actually, you know what's funny? I got 2 bikes stolen here from here.
What?
Yep. Had a bike over here, Max's bike. It was locked up over here. That got stolen, and then the one that was on my patio got stolen.
On your patio, on the second
second
hold on,
floor.
on the second floor.
Someone decided that they wanted to do parkour. Lifted themselves onto the platform in which is my patio and removed the bike and left. And the fucked up thing is that I used the bike so often, I didn't even realize it was gone for a while. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, wait a minute, this bitch has been gone for a while. Because I remember one day I'm like, you know what, I'm going to sell this thing because I never used it. I went outside, I'm like,
There. One day there, now it's gone.
Right?
$200 bike, down the drain.
Yeah.
Some asshole one decided they want to steal my bike.
Wow, that is great. No, but the fact that how I can't even fathom. He lives on the second floor,
No.
and nobody saw somebody getting a ladder or
People are desperate down here, man.
You know what's even crazier, dude? There's a camera right there.
Well, you get the security footage.
Because the office is right there, the main leasing office.
Mm-hmm.
There's a camera on the corner right there pointing directly at my patio.
Wow,
that shit don't work.
You get the footage?
Bullshit.
Live on the play. Yeah.
Even if a bike or no bike, the infrastructure here is just absolutely terrible just to ride a bike.
Riding a bike, yeah, no. Especially because the people that are driving around here. We can do every single podcast we have to have a segment in which we talk about the driving. Because throughout the week you're gonna have that one moment where it's like, fuck Florida and their drivers.
That's why, and it's funny that you talk about fuck Florida and their drivers, because when I went to the bike shop, I went to Dave's Cycle World, and I was saying they were talking about using the bike lanes. I was like, I'm not using the bike lanes. I value my lane.
What is a bike lane?
No.
But my whole thing was, he was like, believe it or not, you actually get more. You hear about more people getting accidents on the sidewalk, bikers, than you do actually in the bike lanes. I was like, how sway?
Well, if you think about it, but in this area that makes sense because there's so many colleges in this one area. Students are walking all the time. So your bike lane is very limited. I mean, your sidewalk is very limited.
Well, and I get that, but I mean, what he was talking about is the fact that, say, you see person biking on the sidewalk, and somebody necessarily pulling in, and say a bike hitting it or somebody hitting a bike because they're not seeing the sidewalk.
No, I got you.
And somebody, it'll be like that scene from Wayne's World. Hi, Wayne! Boom, boom, boom! Right over the car.
It's just a combination of the skinny roads plus I don't even know the jurisdiction of getting a license in Florida, but I think you can just turn 16 and get your license, or just So that plus just no one has no regard for the brake. So when you're turning that corner, it's just they're whipping across, and person's crossing the crosswalk, and
not necessarily the brake or use their turn signal, because I swear that's a little device that nobody uses here.
No, yeah. No.
What is a turn signal, sir? In Florida, that does not exist. Literally, it's just, is there space? Fuck it.
Slide. Hey, look, drive to the right. One hit this time.
Tetris on wheels.
But something interesting that happened this week, or last week. So I went to what was it? Oh, I went to Ale House, right, to go watch the UFC fights. And I'm an observer. I like watching other people and how they interact because I like to
people watch.
I do. I like I get my little tidbits and understanding of people because some people don't make any fucking sense.
No.
So, I saw someone that I knew who was a female, and she's having a date, right? I'm like, oh, you never dated, that cute. Well, for like a solid 45 minutes, this is how the date went. They just swiping on the cell phone, just swiping, ha 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 ha, on the cell phone. I was astonished and confused. I'm like, is that where we're at right now? Where that's a date? Where even though you're on a date with somebody, you're sitting across from them, they're looking at their phone and you're looking at your phone.
Well, yes. Because, I'm gonna yes. Because let's be real. Who really talks to anybody no more? Like, I've said this in
it's
class.
Absurd.
Huh?
It's absurd.
I mean,
especially down here.
Right. But I think it's everywhere. Like, think about how many times that same situation where I'm looking at, I'm like, they supposed to be on a date. I haven't seen them.
Yeah, right.
I have not seen them say a word.
Not
to
a
each
hint
other.
of interaction.
And like,
even the smallest like, how's your day going? You just get weird eyes. Like, how's your day going? Have a good one. Bye. Like, all those normal conversation starters are just frowned upon because, oh, I'm an introvert.
Can you please send me that in an emoji?
That's the weird thing with like psychology and people. Like, there's such a war between introversion and extroversion, I feel, nowadays. Plus the phone is like people select themselves within these categories of, oh, I'm an introvert or extrovert, therefore I'm an introvert, fuck you, don't talk to me, and I'm extrovert.
Hey, I'm all the way out here
right.
for me to
I have to flaunt myself.
And it goes into the culture of like, you got to make sure everyone's okay. And because you have to make sure everyone's okay, then you got to let people do what they want to do. And so thus they are justified.
Yes. Thus they are justified. So therefore, all right, be an asshole, be an asshole.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of frustrating because you're like, you found each other on the phone. Why would you then meet each other and stay on your phone? And I got no issue with online dating. I understand that's just the way things were going. Like, that's the way things were pushing, and I get it. I can understand that, but then after that, then you kind of have to interact with each other. Like, I know you're not going to be 40 years old. Like, yes, honey. Well, on Facebook the other day. And that's one of the reasons why I deleted my Facebook. Facebook now is just a cesspool of bullshit, and it's annoying.
I mean, that's and I'm going to say...
I know it's been for a long time, but...
No, but I'm talking about just for all social medias. Think about it. Think about Snapchat. Think about Twitter. Think about Instagram.
But listen.
I mean, it's nothing but, I
get it, but
craziness.
at least on Instagram, you got to put up the least amount of effort because you're just taking a picture. Least amount of effort, but it's new content, in a sense. At least with your friends, right?
Right.
Nobody's reposting Instagram, really, right? Now, there are those Instagram handles that all they do is repost, sure. But the majority of the people that you are following aren't reposting Instagram posts. It's curated content, in a sense, right? With Facebook, it's just reposting. There is no original content.
It's either memes or someone getting their ass, like... The algorithms nowadays, I remember when Facebook first started, like 2011, when it started getting really hot. Like, that was the purity of Facebook. Remember the icon with just the dude and like pixelated. Yeah. It was like a blog post. I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, I can write up any of my thoughts and like.
Well, that's what Twitter is now.
That's what Twitter is now. The original Facebook, because since you can retweet stuff, but at least when you retweet something, you can start a conversation.
Yeah.
Because you'd be like, hey, this, post this, and then you have like your thoughts on it and whatnot. The limitations of it force you to be more creative. Right. Whereas in Facebook, there's no limitation. So you can just constantly just keep reposting stuff and have a full Facebook fucking log of a whole bunch of shit that you posted. But none of it's curated content. It's just somebody else's shit.
That's true.
That doesn't even get seen either, because like the algorithms when you post are like some of your friends see it, some of your friends don't see it.
The algorithm for everything is messed up.
Yeah.
For Facebook, for Instagram, for Twitter, for YouTube. YouTube especially is really bad.
It's the Wild West of the internet for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
With some limitations due to, IP type of things. Like you can't necessarily put certain things on and have to worry about, okay, am I gonna get sued later for actually putting this on there?
I know you were taught all this, but let's be realistic. That doesn't apply. That shit doesn't apply. What is the law in intellectual property? There really isn't.
No.
Because it's only in like you're not gonna sue anybody. Let's be realistic.
Yeah, but people are gonna sue you. I mean,
No. I get you. No. There are people. Yeah. If they have a machine behind them, if they don't have a machine behind them,
yeah,
you're not suing nobody. So if you make something or write something, I can steal your shit, and you're probably not gonna sue me if I have money. Because you don't have any money, and I took your shit and made money off of it.
Therefore, you ain't shit. Therefore, your shit ain't shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, it'd be that way sometimes. Shit.
It'd be like that.
So, Carson, since you are in fact our guest, please tell us something about yourself.
Hello. Man, I could go. I'm 20 years old. People say up here like I'm 50 years old, and I'm just 20 years old, man. I was a Navy dependent my entire childhood, so I don't have a home.
Okay.
The last place where I totally resided with the family was when we moved to Iowa my senior year of high school. Lived there for a year, came down here to Florida. People were like, don't you miss your family? I'm like, nah, I love them, but like they're doing their thing, man. So, yeah, it's just a little aspect of me, I guess, maturing to a certain point where age doesn't really matter, but at the same time, like, damn, I wonder how life would have been totally different if I went a different route with family and all that. Like, Navy, you guys are both military guys.
Yep.
I mean, it's cool. Like, there's so much, the world is such a bigger place than what your original spot is.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm just curious. Well, if you was to say what was the most coolest place you've ever been to, like as far as doing the Navy or just in general. If you had to,
coolest place. My mom's a very against, which is cool. She doesn't like amusement parks. She doesn't like, oh, let's just go to the mall for the weekend. Like, let's go see some history. So, one summer, like 2015, we went to go to Yellowstone National Park and this one spot called Grand Teton National Park in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Absolutely beautiful mountain range. I was like, when I die, bury me there. So.
Like, the military is really cool, and it gives you an opportunity to explore and all that whatnot. But like, when you're in charge of all that shit, and you're the person that has to make the decisions as far as where you're moving to, how you're moving there, and all that stuff like that, it gets so tedious that by the like some people love it, but by my 5th year, I was like, I don't want to fucking move anymore. I am so done.
How many times have you guys moved?
Probably like 6 or 7 times.
Okay.
Let's see. I gotta count because it was probably about 4. Oh. I would say probably about 4 times.
Both enlisted?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't get no college degree.
At least if you're a reservist, you're moving all the time.
That is so true.
Not moving, but so you have to fly to wherever you're going for the most part. Right. Unless you're in the state where you're supposed, like where you're doing all of your exercises, then you got to fly over there. Yeah. So you're going to be flying more than active duty, depending on your job. Right. Some jobs you're moving all the time. Some jobs you're pretty stationary, and then some jobs it's a mix.
Yeah, my dad did the officer route he went to the Naval Academy, graduated there.
Oh, in Annapolis.
Yes.
And I've actually visited.
It's a beautiful school.
Yeah, I remember I was. What was cool about that place was it was like the 30-foot high dive, like 30 foot up in the daggone air, and I was like, I would love to jump off of that just once, but I'm a big dude. I will fall like a rock. I'll probably touch the bottom of that damn pool for real.
There's so much history there. Gosh, there's like so many memories just going on the weekend, going to the football games. Like whenever they get a touchdown, they shoot a cannon off.
Oh, that's cool.
I used to play lacrosse, and we like actually slept in the dorms where the officers slept at, and played right.
You
by
got that good life, dog.
Man, officer life is definitely a different.
Oh, it is. It's a whole other thing from enlisted.
Well, and look, technically you'll have a degree. Do you think about going into the Navy if you could, or if
that's the interesting aspect. Like I literally had no idea what to do after high school, and I was like, all right, well, I just know the military. It's just convenient to go here.
Yeah.
At the time, I was taking antidepressants. Like, fuck you, no. So I was like, all right, well, I found the school on the internet. I guess I'll just go to Full Sail University, and I don't regret it. But I definitely, if I could go back in time, there'd be a different option. But
yeah, and I think that a lot of people, they struggle with that when they get out of high school. Like, what should they do? Should they follow the freaking follow the route that everyone else does? All right, let's go to college, do 4 years, and then get a job and all that stuff like that. And a lot of people have to realize is that you're 18, 19 getting out of high school.
You don't know shit.
And you don't know. You don't know what you're gonna do, and that's fine. Because I'm 26, about to be 27. I still don't know what the fuck I want to do. Mm-hmm. So, like, don't stress or don't think that you have to know exactly what you're gonna do getting out. Just know that it's gonna be a journey, and you will eventually figure it out.
Yeah.
Or just like I'm gonna tell you what my mother told me. I had three choices. I had college, because she wasn't gonna pay for it. Simple as that is how she worded it. Military, Job Corps.
Like Peace Corps?
Yeah. No, Job Corps is different. Job Corps,
okay.
Peace Corps is different from Job Corps.
Okay.
Think Peace Corps is more like military, but like they do humanitarian type shit.
All three options are I didn't do enough in high school to get into a college for free.
Right. Exactly. So,
all three options right there.
So, but I mean, in that, or try to get a job. But I was like, for me, the term job means just over broke. You know what I'm saying? Like
just to survive.
Yeah, And so, as far as I'm concerned, like I went to the Army a year after high school because I've told you, I think I might have said this story on a podcast before, but I had to wait a year because I was overweight to even go into the military.
Oh yeah, I think you said this.
Yeah, so
working out every day and
exactly, and I had to do that for a year before I could even go in.
Right.
So mine was the complete opposite. They wanted me to go in early because of how in shape I was.
Did you wrestle or?
Yeah, I wrestled in high school. So, and I ran like right after I got out of high school, like was when I could start lifting. Because when you wrestle, you don't want to lift because you don't want to put on any muscle. So then that adds to your weight, and that's more that you have to drain out and all that shit. So I didn't start lifting until right after when I started turning 18. Once I started lifting, I went to the gym 3 hours every day, and I ran 5 to 10 miles every other day. So, like I remember those poolie functions where everyone's like they grab everybody that's currently about to go to boot camp and they do those PT sessions where workouts and all that stuff like that. I didn't have to go none of those. They were like, "You're good, dude," because I used to run 6-7 miles to the building to go check in with them. I would run over there like with no shirt, my headphones in. I would run over there like, "Hey, am I good?" And they look at me like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Right. And then I would run back. Like, you ran here? I'm like, yeah. Like, what?
So Lamar, you're from DC. Chauncey, where are you originally spotted from?
I was born in Colorado.
Okay.
I lived in Colorado. I lived in Texas. I lived in Louisiana and Florida for 9 years, and then California once I joined the military for 5 years.
Gotcha.
So what do you consider? I'm not sure if I've ever asked you.
Consider home?
Yeah. What do you consider home?
I fucking want to go back to Colorado,
It's
but like
state.
Ever since marijuana is legal again, it's no longer that place you can go to and put down $200K for a house and get a big fucking house.
No.
You can't do that shit no more. So like it's like, man, what's the difference between that and California right now? because I love California too, but I don't want to move over there because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
Well, Colorado's no different at this point, so I'm kind of stuck now. I don't know, because I don't want to stay in Florida.
No.
It's funny.
The only
because
sunshine state I want to stay is California. That's, to me, California has the best parts of Florida, and it's better, especially the weather, because dry heat and humidity are two different things.
Yes,
that is true.
California's dry heat is tolerable. You can wear jeans and sweats comfortably in the heat. Here,
it's gonna be hot, but it don't stick to you.
Yeah. You
gotta wear joggers.
Do you love your thighs? Like, I can't do heat. Like, I chafe,
No.
I sweat easily, all that shit.
The
So
bugs.
California was perfect, because then once the sun fucking set, you just open up the window.
No.
It's fucking 60 degrees outside every night.
Okay.
You get what you pay for in California. That's for sure.
You do. It's yeah.
Because I've always heard the the horror stories of how ridiculously expensive it is. That's why I never want to go personally.
But you think about it, like California. All right, so what's the best part of Florida? Like, oh, fucking, they got Disney. California has Disney. Oh, the weather. California's got the weather. Freaking, they have Chinatowns and all that stuff. California has that. I love technology. They have all the tech stores you could ask for. They have all that there. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I like snowboarding.
Go up north.
Big Bear.
Yep.
Done. California has every aspect of the best states in it, pretty much, in my personal opinion.
Except for their high-ass taxes. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Well, yeah. Well, you can't have it all. If you're the best, then that means you could charge to be the best.
So what are some aspects you guys look going in when you move? So, like, if you had a choice, so, like, do you move for the job? Do you move for the weather? Do you move for the people?
Okay. All right.
Political stances.
All right. Like, for me, like, if I like Florida. Contrary to popular belief, I like Florida. Okay? I think Florida is awesome.
I want everybody to know he doesn't drive, so that's why he likes
it. Here we you just wanted to put that in.
If you had to drive every single day, you would be in the same boat as being coached.
A little foreshadowing.
No, I like Florida, contrary to popular belief. And the only way I would personally move is if I got like a really cool job, because I don't have no kids. I don't have any responsibilities to tie me anywhere. I would say for me, it would be a job in certain locations. I don't want to go back up north because I hate cold. So the only way I would go to, like, say,
DC is a swamp.
Yes, DC is a swamp, but it also gets cold there too.
Yes.
But it's not like Fort Drum cold where it's like it gets negative 30 degrees and your icicles, your eyelashes become icicles and things.
Well, that's the best part about California. If it's too hot, keep moving north. Just keep going north. Keep going. You'll eventually
go to Sacramento.
You'll eventually find the Eskimos. Perfect.
All right, what would make you
different aspects of decision of a place to move to?
I would, I don't know, like, in the end, when you think about it, it's like, it doesn't matter to you. It's like, all right, can I get a job there? Obviously, that's number one. It's like, where, like, can I work there? Mm-hmm. Obviously, all right? And then, man, it's a toss-up between weather, people, and money.
All right? Put that in a hierarchy.
It's tough because it all depends on. It's all situation based. Like, how much money am I making? Am I not making a lot of money? Well, I guess you cross out these certain areas. Am I making enough money? Oh, okay, then I can move price a little bit lower down the list. Mm-hmm. So it's the hierarchy changes depending on the situation every single time. Now, if you're in the military, it's really easy. Which is the cheapest place? Because you have to be there. You have no option otherwise. You're stuck there. So it goes from a like weather or a people thing to, all right, how much is this, and am I in the ghetto? That's what, when you're in the military and you're stuck in a certain place, it's literally, all right, how much is that? That's really cheap. I like the price. Is it in the ghetto? No, I'll take it. Is it in the ghetto? Yes.
That's why
I guess not.
That's why people tend to stay on post a lot too, because it's like a better alternative compared to living off post. Like I know, like for example, when I was in Fort Drum, people want to stay on post for the simple fact that.
And now when he says staying on post, he means base housing.
Yeah, base housing.
No, I know you know, but just
right. You know, staying on post because especially when the winters got bad, and the commute to get into post is a pain in the ass. So people choose to want to stay on post compared to living outside, but they didn't want to go too far outside of post either. The
reason why I never stayed on base housing is because of all the horror stories of staying at base housing. A lot more people, like, I'd say, I hadn't been with one person that was like, I'm happy with base housing. I'm happy with it. It's awesome.
That tends to be the case.
Never once.
It's funny because like now I would say here's the out. We always talk about outliers. I can talk about one outlier because I'm really good friends with this one outlier. My friend Anthony, the one when we took the NXT. Okay. He always lived on base housing, but he always had the hookup to where he knew somebody that always got him into the nicer places. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But also, this is the biggest reason why people don't stay on base housing. It's like you never go home. Do you understand? Yeah, you never go home. No. You're always at work. I remember when I lived in the barracks, and the barracks is just, think of it like a college dorm on the base that you're at.
For single soldiers.
Yeah, So staying there, like I never felt like I was home. I lived 10 minutes away from where I worked, and I could never leave. Like, if you leave in just whatever fashion you want to, someone's going to say some shit to you because you're on base and you're walking on base. So you always gotta make sure you had your haircut, make sure your face was shaved before you leave, make sure that you're dressed appropriately. Like if you're wearing basketball shorts and a t-shirt, you can't go fucking nowhere. So it's a hassle because it's just an extra thing you have to think about on top of And like, why do I have to think about work shit when I'm at home?
Yeah.
So that's the biggest problem. Is like I want to be able to just get out of my apartment.
Chill.
Walk across the street to the fucking gas station,
right.
Get something or get gas or whatever, and not think about if I'm wearing flip flops or shoes.
Yeah, that is true. And because one thing is you always have that douchebag.
Yeah, you always
have that douchebag that want to say some dumb shit because they're so hua, or I'm not sure what they say in the Navy or the Marines. I'm just saying, The what I like to
guy that just takes it way too seriously. Just hey, bro, all right, chill.
Hey Marine. I know it's been 45 seconds since you woke up, but you got to shave that face. I can see one hair on your cheek, little bitch. And it's like, fuck, dude, leave me alone.
When my dad got out, you can just noticeably tell like less, like
the amount of fucks are just like, you know what? Because you get that taste of freedom. You're like, I'm not a robot no more. Oh. Right. I like I'm not like it's like Pinocchio becoming a real boy when it happens. That's feeling you get.
So much bureaucracy.
Right. Oh, incredibly.
I was reading up on this article. Did you know that? And this I'm just completely off topic. I'm talking about video games now. You know the company Activision, right?
Yeah.
Do you know that their CEO makes like over 100 times as much money as the average employee at Activision?
Did you say 100 times?
He's over 100 times.
That makes sense.
Do you know that specific article? They have any?
Yeah, can you pull that
up? Yeah, I'm about to pull it up.
But I can understand why that would make sense, though.
Well,
I can understand.
The average? Not like, we're not talking about like gender. We're talking about we took everyone's paycheck in your company. We added it
together and
you make 100 times more than that average.
Wow. That's absurd.
Now that you break it down way, My bad.
306 times as much as the.
Wow, hold up. You dumbed it down.
He made $28.6 million last year.
Holy.
Well, that's when it comes down to the business practice of Activision.
And they just laid off 800 people.
I'm surprised they haven't tanked like at all yet. I mean,
well, hold on.
When was the last good video game by
Hold on,
Activision?
I was about to ask that because I was gonna be like, okay, Activision. What are they known?
Call of Duty.
Okay.
Call of Duty, Guitar Hero.
Is Activision does Rock Band, or is that a different company?
That's EA.
That's EA. Okay, my bad. Just want to make sure I'm not saying the wrong things.
Activision's always been questionable.
Well,
The problem, like, they're Activision Blizzard now, so they.
Okay.
So
hold on, Blizzard owned
Activision Blizzard. They are one company.
Okay.
So Call of Duty, Crash Bandicoot, the Tony Hawk series. They have the licenses to Ninja Turtles apparently still.
and Ghostbusters, at least according to this.
That game was trash anyway. So literally, like, as I'm looking as a gamer, the only like games of worth, like as far as IPs that they have right now that are worth anything, are Call of Duty, and then Blizzard side with the Overwatch and the Diablos, World of Warcraft.
So what's your opinion on it?
Me personally, I believe that we're gonna get to a point where like companies like this and EA, those people that have the business model of service games, like like your Destinies, like your Overwatches, all that type of stuff, and the free to play model, we're gonna hit like a video game crash.
Oh yeah.
Because there's only so much money that can be made, and for example, Call of Duty, even though they once again broke world records, of how many they sold at launch, right? They broke records. It wasn't good enough for the investors because they only made like an extra like $5 or $10 million from the previous year, right? So the year-over-year growth, it may seem like a lot to us, but to them, since it's so fucking big, that's not a lot of money. So
Not as much money as they're used to getting.
yeah, because like record sales used to be stupid fuck tons of money, and now $550 million isn't enough.
People are catching on to the trend. That's just all bullshit.
What's sad is that like they're still, like it's still year over year they're making more and more money, but it's not enough of a growth to make investors happy.
No.
So investors aren't happy. That's the whole thing right there.
Yeah.
And then on top of this, to add insult to injury, you're making all this money more than what your employees make, and you're making out half-ass games. I don't get it. And I say half-ass games, but I'm talking from a purist standpoint.
Let's be realistic. Like if you think about it, the most popular game right now, Fortnite, is pretty half-ass game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I call the iPhone syndrome. Like, I mean, basically at this point, that number doesn't surprise me at all. The turnover rate, they're caring more about the actual investors' return on profit than the actual product they're creating. And I feel now like essentially it's about to be the 08 crisis for video games. I feel like I used to be a hardcore gamer. Like 360 era was, I think, the prime for the popularity of like purity and also gaming. And then when the one hit and the transactions started going, I immediately clocked out. I was like, this doesn't feel pure. I have to connect to the internet just to play this like single player game.
Yes,
everything.
Yes, and I definitely agree. And also, like, for me being a purist, and I think Nintendo still does it best as far as the party games on one system. Because nowadays you have to have at least a separate system in each room. So there's no commonality with, back in where, you used to have people come over to visit to play video games at the house.
They seem to be pure truer. Yeah.
Even Nintendo, though, the way they have it set up is they're kind of forcing you to have multiple Switches, though. Because how much can you accomplish on that little small thing? Unless you plug it in, yeah, but then it's the same thing as any other console at that point. But like the way they have their party games set up, there are some party games that they have, like the Mario Party game, where you need a second Switch to play certain games.
What?
Oh, I did not
Yeah,
know
I
that.
did not-
I
I
thought
did
they
not
were
know
still
that.
pure in
Yeah,
that
there's some
regard.
that you like connect to each other, and then like they connect, they talk to each other. So like certain games you could play to the fullest. There are some games that do that.
As a gamer that's still within the verse, what games do you usually just go to? Do you just go to the indie games now? Do you just
Like right now, I am 100% like almost boycotting Battle Royale because I don't like where it's going. Because unfortunately, it's the Call of Duty syndrome. When Modern Warfare came out, fucking first person shooters were coming out every fucking month. All right? And everyone followed that bandwagon until they sucked it dry and nobody gave a fuck about first person shooters anymore, right? Now everyone's doing the same thing with Battle Royale. Because we got Fortnite, we got Apex Legends, which from the creators of Titanfall, the Respawn, which are actually the original creators of Modern Warfare. They have a Battle Royale that's out. Battlefield 5 is going to come out with a Battle Royale mode soon. You still have PUBG. And there are multiple companies right now looking at the Battle Royale genre and trying to figure out how they can implement their own Battle Royale into it. Even the game Dying Light, they came out with a Battle Royale mode. I know it was under the radar and not everybody knew about it, and only the really hardcore fans really knew about it. But at the same time, it's like you're just taking all these games that have no business being a Battle Royale and just shoehorning it in there for the fuck of it. And I don't want to support that business model because half of them are free to play, right? And I don't want to. I like free to play is great for like iOS and all that stuff like that. Sure, I got you because you're on your cell phone. You have a cell phone anyway, so that's enticing. But for the free to play model, if that really gets its legs, then why do companies need to try? They just have to give you a small little hook, like Fortnite. It's a small little hook. What are you getting out of it? Skins and emotes. And that's all people need. That's the only carrot they fucking need, right?
So in the broader perspective, the gaming industry is really volatile with the trends of whatever's hot.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So whatever is popular, that's what's...
Like, I mean, I think that along with YouTube, like that coincides with one another, and there's just no way to break. Do you think this will like break and like, you know what, let's go back to the 90s era. Let's just like make a game to make the sake of a game and like benefit from the straight sales of that game.
I'm going to say no because too many of our younger generations are so used to the way it is now. For them to even go back to the purity of it will be repulsive to them. It would only fan service gamers like, say, for me, or gamers that grew up into that era of purity of game where
I think it will continue, but in small form. For example, Nintendo and PlayStation, that is their business model. Their business model revolves around creating exclusive content you can only get on their system. So I think they will continue doing that because that's their business model. Microsoft's going towards a service business model. So eventually, I think in a generation or two, Microsoft's going to be out of the console game and they're just going to be doing services because they have Game Pass and they're coming out with a thing called xCloud, which allows you to stream games to different machines. So like your computer, your phone, your a tablet, or what's rumored a Nintendo Switch that they're going to be adding, they're supposed to be adding Game Pass to. I think they just want their service on everything. That's what they're going to be leaning towards. But Sony and Nintendo, their bread and butter is making exclusive titles, mainly single player driven, because Nintendo and Sony really don't come out multiplayer games. They leave that to third party.
But I would also say, like, and this is what I've always said was Nintendo always made the better party games. Like, for example, Mario Party, like Super Mario World. Mm-hmm. Like, you can actually have 4 people play on one screen and have that camaraderie that they used to have. I think Nintendo still does that the best.
Yeah. I get you from that aspect, but that's a game that comes out every so often. So I don't think that's a huge money maker for them, but their money maker is Zelda, Mario, Metroid, those games, right?
Classics.
And they might have spin-offs or whatever, but they are still going to continue making their single-player games in that style. And then same with Sony, they have God of War, they have Spider-Man, they have Bloodborne, they have freaking what other
Gran Turismo.
Last of Us. Their Days Gone's coming out soon. They're gonna have the Infamous and what the hell is that game with the chick with the robot dinosaurs? Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh,
so
that's a good game.
I've never played it, so.
I don't think they're gonna change. They're gonna definitely have fewer of them. That's at least that's what they said. They're gonna have fewer of those titles, but they're gonna be more quality. They're gonna focus on making that the best style game, similar to the way Rockstar does it. Rockstar is in the league of their own because they have proven that what they can do will get you your money back. So Take-Two, who is known for flooding everything with microtransactions, just look at the freaking 2K series. Look at the new NBA games. Just microtransactions at the ass. They love doing that. So I think there'll be those onesies and twosies like companies that will make those type of games, and everyone else is just gonna be following.
Now, that's one thing I will say about Rockstar. At least, all they have is one title, if I'm not mistaken, maybe
like
two.
every 5 years they like come out with a game.
Yeah, like say for example, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 5, and then just now Red Dead Redemption 2, which made a crap ton of money in their first week. I'm gonna look it up, but
I watched a couple video essays on the Grand Theft Auto 5 online, and I heard I can't recall. I heard it was just not a great model they did with other games in the past, like GTA 4 online. Like you could buy literally the credit card thing up the wazoo.
it's called Game Shark.
Yes, Game Shark.
No, not Game Shark. Shark Cards.
And they say you can buy those, but it's going to make you less time to get the actual weapons, but you can get the actual weapons, but it's taking more time. What do you guys think about the time? Is there the time thing that's cool? What's your guys' morality stance when it comes to free to play? Because I think it's a very shady business practice from the get go.
Well,
It is.
I think yes, I agree with you, but I would also think is because I only play Fortnite, and I only play Fortnite because I have a friend who plays on another system, and the fact that they cross-platform is cool. I would say from that standpoint, I like that aspect. With free to play, it gives you an advantage, because say you play on Xbox usually.
But that's not all free to play games.
Yeah, and
the cross-platform aspect of it has nothing to do with free to play.
Just the business model.
Because there's very few games that are cross-platform. There's maybe two.
And but I think that's what I like about the free to play. At least if there was a good thing about it, if more of them tend to cross-platform, I think that would definitely open a new spectrum.
The reason why that's not normal is because one, there's not that single game that everyone is beloved like that. Like Fortnite's its own anomaly, right? So that's not gonna happen in the long term for all games, just because it defeats the purpose. You're trying to sell someone this hardware. Why would you then say you don't need this to play your favorite game? Why would you need this? Buy whichever one you want. Good for game makers, bad for
business.
the companies selling hardware. Because it's like what's the point at that point? What's the point?
I get you.
$725 million. I mean, the first 3 days. Rockstar.
Oh,
You said 700 and what?
$725 million the first 3 days. So
they make great games.
They do.
Well, I definitely, like I said, if you say Rockstar, I'm always gonna think GTA.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I heard they did a business they run their employees 80 hours per week just to make the Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, no.
There was an article that came out about that. I forget which one.
I think game development period there's an issue with that because I know game developers aren't making as much money as they should.
Yeah.
Depending on the game, of course. But back to the free to play thing, I don't think it's viable, only because with free to play, you're limited to. There's no single player with free to play.
No,
you can't do that. It has to be multiplayer because you have to create. If you make a single player game and you have to create like a whole bunch of levels and a story and all that stuff like that, it can't be free to play. You can't just give that to somebody. That took time and effort, right?
Right.
So free to play in the multiplayer aspect of it, because you create a set of rules and you have people create their own engagement, their own fun with it, their own stories, right?
Right.
So that's why Minecraft is so popular, and that's why that thing is the way it is. But in creating single player game, you can't make that free to play because then you are forcing someone to grind out a certain area where normally in a multiplayer style game you're gonna be doing that anyway, right? Mm-hmm. The purpose of it is just to play the multiplayer and go against people with competitive nature, right? Single player, why you're gonna grind playing by yourself so that you don't have to pay money to progress? That's not gonna work.
Right.
That's why a lot of companies are moving away from single player games because you can't monetize that.
Right.
It's hard to monetize a game there's a beginning and an end.
There's no means to an end with free to play.
Where in the middle can you entice somebody to spend money?
No, that makes sense.
So free to play, if it continues going the way it's going, that'll be the elimination of single player games, or at least make it so that they are far and few between.
Well, you know what? The funny part about it is that now you don't really see too many. Like I remember, I think you told me one I think was it a Call of Duty game don't even have a single player.
No, they removed the single player.
Yeah, and I think that is stupid because now it's like, why would you remove that single player? For the ones who don't.
What?
Okay, for the ones who don't necessarily play with people.
Yeah.
I always like this. I always like the story of the single player.
The last one's pretty ass, but MW2, MW, those were just phenomenal.
I completely understood what they were doing. To me, that makes sense because I know there's a lot of people that don't play the single player, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, they would have the statistics of how many people unlock, because there's achievement system. So they just look at the achievement system. How many people completed the game and got this achievement, and this percentage, and be like, all right, no one's playing the single player. Cool, remove it. My problem with Activision is they decided, all right, there's only multiplayer and the zombies, but it's still $60.
Right.
I know a majority of their budget goes into the single player because regardless of what you think about the single player, that requires a fuck ton of money, especially when you get people like Kevin Spacey to jump in and voice over for it, right? That costs a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort. The multiplayer, I know they have the infrastructure and all that to copy and paste. The engine hasn't changed in almost a decade.
Still the Quake engine.
Yeah, they're still using well, I don't think it's a Quake engine, but whatever engine they've been using since like Modern Warfare 1, it's the same shit, right? So you think to yourself, okay, and not only that, they were all recycled maps. They were maps from the previous Black Ops.
Oh, wow.
So you think okay, where did the money for this go? Because all you did was copy and paste Black Ops 3's multiplayer, got all the maps from all the Black Ops and put them in one. Mm-hmm. You already had that. So reuse assets, $60 and a $50 season pass.
Wow.
Where does that... Oh, and on top of that, we're going to wait 3 months for reviews to come out so everyone thinks this game is great and dandy, and then we're going to put in microtransactions and loot boxes on top of the $60 you paid for half a game, $50 for a season pass, and then if you want some cosmetics, well, you can't buy them individually. You're going to freaking pay, open up these boxes so you can hopefully get it.
Damn.
It's a bureaucracy.
So...
No, that's what I call a daggone hustle right there.
So there might not be a complete crash, but I think companies like Activision Blizzard, EA, Take-Two, they depend 100% on these things to make money. EA makes over $1 billion just on FIFA's Ultimate Team. And if you don't know what Ultimate Team is, basically you get to create your own team using they're real players.
It's cards.
But they're cards and they have a rarity. And you get these cards in packs. It's like a loot box, but you get them in packs, which you can pay for or get by in-game grinding. Problem with this is also a competitive mode. You're playing against other people. Mm-hmm. So you think to yourself, oh, well, if this guy puts in $100 and he has all the good cards, he's going to beat my ass, right?
Right.
There's a funny story with that. A guy I knew in high school, his name is Beatus.
Mm-hmm.
He took a friend of mine's credit card
Mm-hmm.
and bought like 50 of these packs.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, like, what are you doing? He's like, story's opposite, but definitely it's one of those like, oh my God, like literally you're throwing down thousands upon thousands upon thousands just for a random, like, you never know if you're going to get Ronaldo or not Ronaldo.
Not only that, every year there's a new game. So what you just invested,
It's not going to transfer over to the next
It doesn't
year.
transfer over. Now, if it transferred over,
That'd be dope.
Got you.
Right.
Makes perfect sense. You put your money in knowing that every year. And what blows my mind is that people buy it every year. It's the same game, barely any updates, like a roster update, something that they could have patched in.
Or
But they
4K
give
audience.
you a full fucking game that, like, oh, this time you can change your jersey magenta.
Absurd.
I remember watching a video, Angry Joe, if you don't follow him on YouTube. He's pretty awesome.
Joe.
Angry Joe, Madden was on PC for the first time in a long time, right? He gets it on PC. He's like, I haven't played Madden forever. Let's see what's up. He goes to the creation mode. Not only, so this says that there's 80 faces, right? Sorry. There was about 15 different faces you can pick for your avatar, right? You can't like custom go through, make his eyes big and no, you have 15 custom faces. About 5 of them were redone twice.
What? Nah, that's some lazy artistry for real.
I'm just like, you paid $60 or maybe more because there's like 3 different versions of it for this.
Bullshit.
That's where your money went. So they could just take a face and like, oh well, let's double it up. Instead of the guy's white, he's black. Oh,
wow.
You know, there's pros and cons to capitalism. That's one of the cons.
yeah, it definitely
very
is.
true.
110%. Oh man, hey, but yeah, it's frustrating and it's tough. It's tough just because it's like, so you care about this type of stuff and it's like, and you just see it, like you don't understand how other people don't get it.
No.
I have to buy my NBA every year, and people do it every year.
It's brainwashing.
You know what's hilarious though? What? This is some racist shit, but I noticed when I play sports games, dude, you see a lot more black people. You really do. Y'all love y'all love that shit.
Y'all got 2K?
2K.
Yo, y'all love 2K.
Look, I ain't even going fake. Like, I'm one of the few that don't really play a lot of sports games.
But 2K.
But my sister has 2K.
Do you see?
My sister has 2K, and you're right. It is. But when you say sports games, mind you, we're talking about basketball and football. We're not talking about.
No. I was playing UFC, dog. Dude. You can just tell by their gamer tag. You're like, this guy's definitely black. You can just tell. But I like it because it gets me fired up. It's like, I'm not getting beat by Jigaboo 47. It ain't happening. I figured out that the number one player on the UFC 3, I saw his name, like, this guy's definitely black. Found out he has a YouTube channel. Black. Knew it. I'm like, knew it!
What's his name?
Hey, yo, what's good?
No, he doesn't have a ghetto name. He doesn't, but I just knew he was. I just knew it.
What were the context?
Because
Smooth.
I'm not being racist, I'm being truthful. Y'all take this shit seriously. Like, this is like, if you're not good at that, it's like a point deduction from your manhood. Like, real talk. Y'all think I'm joking, but like I guarantee you, go hang out with some of your friends and be like, hey man, my my all-time score in NBA 2K is really like low as fuck. They'll look at you like, give me your man card. Give me that shit.
Give me that.
You pop online and hear the headsets, you know there's a party in the back, someone's smoking a blunt.
Yeah.
Get his ass, beat his ass.
Hey, look, you better not get your ass whooped. No one gonna make fun of you and shit.
Yeah. Those are the best games, especially when you're really high.
Dude, the best game when you're really high. Yo, VR?
Never.
No, when you're
high?
yes.
How is that?
Yo, how does that work? Because that would. Yo, that would. How would that
It's one
work?
of two reactions. You're either gonna be like trip the fuck out, or you'll be trip the fuck out.
This is dope.
Or you're gonna be like, this is the coolest shit ever, or ah!
I can't.
Best VR game. I fuck with Super Hot. That's a pretty dope game. Not
That one's trippy, dog.
Super Hot's trippy.
There was one that like my friends had on Oculus, and it was basically you play as these robots and you go around and you're shooting, and I found that one to be fun. Because you actually have to look around, and you can catch bullets and throw it back at
What's dope with Super Hot? It's like the Matrix, but you stand still, and like there's these stick figures. It's like a shooting game, and you stand still and like you look around, and sometimes they shoot a bullet at you, and the moment you move, time goes back into real time. So each time you stop, it goes back into slow motion. You're like, okay.
Oh wow!
So it's like literally you're planning out each shot. Super hot.
Nice.
And there's that bomb game too. But.
All right. Oh, does anybody know? All right. So Florida's obviously known for a bunch of crazy people, right? Because you hear about a bunch of
Florida
on the
man.
news.
Hold on, we're doing Florida files.
Listen. I have to apologize because I found out recently. So we all know we hear a whole bunch of crazy shit about Florida all the time, right?
Right.
What I did not know is that other states' law on releasing news is way different than ours.
Okay.
As soon as something happens in Florida, you're allowed to make it public automatically. In other states, you can't do that.
Oh, okay.
So that's why it seems like Florida is a bunch of crazy people and shit like that. Yeah, we have them, but everywhere else has them too. They're just smart about it. They don't put the shit out right away. So by the time they put it out, it's old news and no one cares anymore, right?
Right.
So I did not know that, but that's the law right here. They're very open with their news, and that's why people think that Florida's crazy like that. When in fact, everywhere is pretty much just as crazy, but you just don't hear about it as soon as it happens.
Oh yeah, it's like a 2 or 3 day thing before you find out some stuff. Okay. Well, daggone Florida, y'all need to change y'all game for real, because just some of the stuff that we see is like, are you serious?
There's some crazy shit that happens in Florida. I'm about to.
The state's grown on me, at least in the Orlando area. Like, out of all portions of Florida, like I feel most safe here.
All right, people. Naples, this one's for you. All right, a Naples man was arrested on Saturday after whipping a restaurant worker with a rope before drawing a knife.
So did not get his right order, or?
So, all right.
There's a story.
Darbin, I don't know, how do you pronounce that last name, dude? What is that?
Asinguera?
Yeah, whatever.
Is
This
that
42-year-old man went to
Felipe's Mexican to Taquero off of?
Yeah. So he threatened to hurt a worker, hurt workers and customers of the restaurant, according to a arrest report.
Oh.
An employee tried to stop him, which caused him to whip the employee across the face with a small rope.
Oh, you didn't tell me he got bitch slapped by a rope.
Yes.
That's the Florida man for you.
We call it Florida Files. We just haven't done this in a while, so this is Florida Files, ladies and gentlemen.
He was charged with battery, carjacking, assault, false imprisonment, and battery on a law enforcement officer. So he also assaulted the officer that was... Oh my god.
Wow.
I'm going to whip you with
You
a
got
rope.
bitch slapped by... You know what? That almost would be embarrassing to me. Like, that's almost as bad as getting backhanded.
Oh.
Because that's almost to say that, like, to get backhanded is already disrespectful because you don't even get the palm. Okay.
Never been in a situation where I've gotten backhanded, but it sounds like you have.
No, I have not actually. But I'm just saying I'm just saying, like, for me, it'd be like a certain dignity. But to be slapped by a rope, are you serious?
Well,
no.
It was literally either that one or the next one where Florida mother accused of stabbing her daughter to death. That was the next one.
What?
She was there. So they don't know what happened. Her mother literally pulls up in their car, and the daughter is dead in the driver's seat. She was stabbed multiple times, and now the mother is the prime suspect.
Wow. Like, hold on. So I can just see it now. Maybe the daughter was talking shit, right?
Right.
And, saying, blah, 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 blah. Motherfucker, then I can take you into this world and I'm going to take you out, motherfucker.
I don't even know how you get to the point where you can stab somebody. Like, I just cringe thinking about, like, getting pricked just a little bit by it. Like, when you stab someone, there's organs in there, there's bones. Like, you're touching a bone. Like,
I get what you're saying, but I can honestly say there's definitely been moments where I've wanted to place harm on somebody, and in my mind it's like, as I go through with it, it's gonna feel really fucking good. Not for them, I know, but for me, it's gonna feel really fucking good.
Like, you know what? This is gonna feel good stabbing this motherfucker who I could not stab.
I don't know if I can stab somebody.
No, I can choke
beat
out
someone's ass.
The closest
choke a bitch out.
Choke them out. Like,
yeah, but stabbing, that's a little excessive. But in all reality, like, I don't know. I feel like if you stab somebody, I don't know. I can't see someone sitting there for a long time just doing this to you. I feel like they'd be like, and be like, oh shit.
I just get so expanded with thought, like, damn, like, they're gonna have a tough time taking a shower, man. Like, that's gonna hurt.
If they're not dead first, but I mean, okay, I can understand.
No, you remember we had an article before. He stabbed this dude like 10 times in the face, and he survived.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, because we made jokes about that.
Oh my god.
Man came to visit. He went to visit his mother and his father, right? And this dude is it's a family of 4, right? Son is like 28, some shit like that, right? He came to visit his family. While he was there, he was already off the rails. Like, there was already warning signs to this, but white people that are wealthy. So he gets in an argument with his mom over some dumb shit, and he ends up killing her. No, not killing her. No, he stabbed her, stabbed the father, and killed the brother. Right, and he stabbed the dad like 10 times in the face, and he survived it. And I'm just like, how?
That's good.
How much? Like,
I'm sorry. That's
you fail at life on so many levels right now, sir.
Or that's you know what? For those who don't, I was like, that's a god or a higher power for that dude to stay alive after some stuff like that. Because I bet you not everybody can get like 10 stabbings in the face and still live.
I'd rather just die. Facial reconstruction surgery is still surgery, and it costs like a motherfucker.
Well, I'll be like, I'll lean over to my doctor. Is my dick okay? Then it's all good, man. I can still go. He's married. Fuck it.
Man, I lost these 2 front teeth here last year skateboarding, and I was like, I thought the end of my world was gonna come. Like,
if you had to choose between your face and your dick. Now, we'll just say, okay, you're gonna get stabbed. You're gonna get stabbed once. Mm-hmm. Would you rather take in the face or in the dick?
Dick.
That man said that without hesitation. I have to think about this one. I'm like,
I can live without my dick. I cannot make money without my face. I can't make money without my face. Like, I need my face.
You know what? You know how ego. You just had it.
I have zero desire for intimacy. Like, all right, if I ever come across like hey girl, like, what's going on? Like, what happened to your dick, man? Like, it was 10 years ago. I mean, are you gonna love me still?
Sir, I think this podcast just saved your life just because you're going to have to go to the doctor. Your testosterone level is very low. He's going to go to the doctor and be like, he was right. What the fuck? I was like, I knew it.
Speaking
He's going to come back. He's going to come back. They're going to give him all the steroids in the world. Are you going to compete in anything? No? Good. He's going to come back
speaking like Michael Jackson.
Seeds everywhere. What are these seeds? My dick.
If I don't do that, I just sound like Michael Jackson and just be like,
Apparently, there's a rumor he was chemically castrated.
I heard that on Joe Rogan. I don't know. It's plausible. He did maintain that beautiful voice. Maybe when he did not
that
speak.
Ever so quiet. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
This is Tito. Stop teasing. What's crazy? This is coming right after R. Kelly. That saint. That beautiful chocolate wonder of a man.
There we go again. Oh Lord.
Oh man, what a stand-up individual.
No, there ain't nothing.
They took his music off iTunes, dog.
Did they take his music off iTunes?
They took his music off.
Wow.
I have to check this, dog.
That's what I heard because I watched the same thing on Joe Rogan, and that's what he said. Somebody who has iTunes music.
I do. Yeah,
Someone try to play I Believe I Can Fly this motherfucker. Try.
Let's see.
Yo, how much do you think? Like, do you think you can put his music in your YouTube videos now, and they won't copyright you?
That'd be cool,
right?
Well, I got R. Kelly Essentials.
Oh no, that's not it.
Like you can still get Bump and Grind. I'm a Flirt.
Yeah, I know, but these are curated. These are curated freaking.
Oh no, you're talking about just R. Kelly's stuff in general.
R. Kelly. Just put on the type R. Kelly. R. Kelly.
I gotcha. Only 3 songs.
When he mentioned he's gonna pour ice cream all over your chest, I knew he was a weirdo since then. Yo, we gotta put ice cream all over your chest.
It's real weird right now. Like the way they have it set up. Like when you typed, you put in his essentials. Nah, it's still.
Are you on iTunes or Apple Music?
He's on Apple Music. Let's try iTunes. It's definitely on Apple Music, which sucks. Well, not sucks, but that's not fun.
No.
All right.
That ruins the whole story. What the fuck? What happened to your home button, dog? Oh, there's no home button. You turned off the motor?
What do you mean?
The vibration motor on the home button.
Oh no.
We are now searching for R. Kelly's music on iTunes.
Yeah. We're just trying to see if it should have been taken.
How do you multitask on this? Oh, there we go. This fucking... Your phone's weird. Oh, what
iPhone.
No, you can still buy it.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's no fun.
They do that though. Apple's starting to censor like white supremacy music apparently.
There's white supremacy music on iTunes? Man,
apparently.
Wrong store, dog.
Apparently.
That'd be so... I'm not gonna lie. I would do it as a joke. Real talk. I would do it as a joke.
Oh, but like, have
100%.
y'all ever seen that old movie called CB4?
No.
Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting I'm the oldest one on this podcast.
I keep forgetting I'm not in love animour.
But anyway, there's a scene in CB4. It's one of Chris Rock's older movies.
Mm-hmm.
And basically what it was lampooning like NWA and stuff
so what
like
is it
that.
called? What was it? CB4 is what?
It was called CB4 stands for Cell Block 4. That's what it stands.
Oh,
okay. And so, what you talking about white supremacy music? There was this black rapper. He was like, "I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all, and I'm blah 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 black, y'all. I'm boogity black, boogity black." And it was hilarious. And so I was just trying to think about, white supremacy was how would that even sound like that? Like that would just even.
Racist.
Love that. Is that Arsenio Hall in there too?
No, that's not Arsenio Hall. That's actually Murphy.
Looks like Charlie Murphy.
That is Charlie.
Oh, it is.
It is Charlie Murphy.
No, but like it's real funny how this Michael Jackson stuff comes out right during the R. Kelly stuff. It was like a double whammy.
Yeah.
It was like we're gonna fuck up your whole childhood.
What's your guys' opinion on that?
Oh, hold on. We had a whole podcast. I want you to
on
go.
R. Kelly, yeah. But
Okay. On Michael on the Leaving Neverland.
R. Kelly. No, just R. Kelly. We haven't talked about Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah.
But as far as Michael Jackson goes, man, where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't know. I really don't. It's hard for me to fathom, especially nowadays. It's hard for me to fathom this grown ass man that hangs out with little kids that's doing it for the fun of it.
Well, I mean,
it's hard for me to fathom that.
You know, now I'm gonna say it like this. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm one of those guys, but you know, I got little cousins. I got, you know, and little cousins always like to come hang around me because I guess I'm not sure.
Those are your cousins.
Some of them were his cousins too.
Oh, a lot of them weren't. If it's your family, okay,
yeah,
you can get away with that. But a lot of them were not his family, and a lot of parents got hush money. What do you need to hush for?
What drew the line for me was when he like sleeping in his bed, like just why?
He's got pictures of the kids too.
Why you just sleep with our like?
Yeah.
I don't...
No kids, y'all got other rooms. I do grown up shit.
Like, even if I have homies over, you're not gonna sleep on my bed. Get the couch.
True. Now, females, it's a different story. Some females,
right?
You know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Even if they're a friend, though, you get on the couch.
But okay, I don't care if it's fucking Beyonce and she's inviting fucking 13-year-old, you know, 8, 9, 10-year-old little boys over. It's still not okay.
Yeah.
No.
Are we mad? No. Guys are not mad. At no point in time will you hear a guy like, "Oh man, that poor boy." No.
I wish I was that 10-year-old.
Exactly. That's all you're gonna hear from guys, and that is a double standard thing, 100%. But that's the way the cookie crumbles.
There's the morality thing too. Like, if we truly want equality, then like it has to apply. I mean,
oh man, you speaking his language.
Do you? There was I forgot who did it. There was some famous female, it was actress or singer, I don't remember which one, but she had put out a tweet saying how she wanted to basically fuck one of the kids on Stranger Things, right? Kid was like under 15 years old at the time. No, I think it was it at the time, and he was like, he was way under 15, right? Like he was in his like 12, 13 years old, some shit like that. She posted that, right? And nothing happened.
No cry for war, no boycott.
There was a little bit. There was a little bit of backlash, but she put out an apology, and it was all forgiven.
Oh,
if a guy did that motherfucker would be in jail tomorrow.
Right. Snipers at his head.
Yeah.
You nasty bastard. Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
fucking, you'd have fucking Tim Apple and President Orange fucking on the case. Dog.
Tim Apple.
Did you see that?
Yes.
That shit was hilarious. Oh, thank you for being with us, Tim Apple. He called him Tim Apple. His name was Tim fucking Cook. You know he changed his name on Twitter to Tim Apple?
Did he?
Troll, man. Just fucking savage, dude.
Yeah, it's an interesting time to be alive. I listen to Jordan Peterson every now and then. Do you know Jordan Peterson?
Mm-hmm. For the ones who don't.
So Jordan Peterson's a psychologist from the University of Toronto in Canada, and basically, he's been labeled a alt-right supremacist by the extreme left just because naturally men look to him as like guys nowadays. I understand, like masculinity concepts, all that. Like, there's a point in time where we literally had 8 wives and we ruled the world.
Yeah.
But it's come to a point in time where guys have like lost their certain like way. Like, I feel like I cannot be a guy. Like, there's like literal male guilt, and for the guys are not necessarily that stereotypical asshole. Like, I'm going on a tangent, but anyways. So Jordan Peterson addresses all this. Like, all right, it's the 21st century. What a male's responsibility is to find your responsibility and like establish your responsibility and live throughout your means to change the world through your own house. So I look at his videos just because like, damn, like that actually kind of makes sense. But
what was really frustrating to me is that I just think nobody wants equality. They just want what's convenient to them at that moment. Nobody really wants equality. Because if you want full-fledged equality, then you'd have to change everyone's way of thinking and the way of processing. You'd have to start at kids now. For that to, you'd have to start at the kids right now and make sure everything in their life is equal both ways for them to eventually get to that point. Because right now, what did your mom teach you? What did your mom teach you? What did my mom teach me? Hey, protect your sister or cherish a woman, open the door for her, all that shit. And now apparently that's a bad thing.
It's rude.
Yeah, it's rude, and you're treating women as if they're beneath you. It's like, no, this is just the way that my mom told me I had to do that. You know, I didn't get an ass whooping for no reason. I got an ass whooping because I put my sister in figure 4. You know,
All right.
so. In order for everything to be equal, you'd have to change everyone's mindset, because what is regardless if a woman will admit it or not, she's not dating a manager at McDonald's.
She will date, but it's the context of, is that manager at McDonald's the caretaker of the house? Do they hold the moral responsibility of holding that masculine energy?
So, and it was a meme about this, and it made perfect sense, and like it was stretching a little bit, but like, so guy works at McDonald's, right? Guy works at McDonald's. Hey, you need to get a job. Woman works at McDonald's. She's a strong, independent woman trying to work her way through college, right?
No.
Like, if you like on paper, like I know, like the women won't admit it. They won't admit it, but they're thinking about that type of shit. Like, not a lot of women aren't going into it thinking that they're gonna be the primary breadwinner in their relationship. Some women are. A lot of women aren't. But they want equality. Like, that doesn't work. Everything has to be equal then. You can't look at me like, okay, I'm going for something, but I'm not there quite yet. Oh, well, you ain't shit type thing, you know?
Right.
And that's where it leaves guys now. It's like, I literally feel guilt just for talking to a girl or like approaching, like, hey, I think you're cute. Like, let's go on a date. Like, oh.
Are you asking me on a date?
How
dare you?
Oh, or like I said this to a friend of mine, and I actually I was like, you make an excellent wife one day. Like, just be.
That's rude
being
now.
funny. I was being funny with it, and they were like, well, what do you mean? And I was like, well.
You don't even know what to say at that point.
Yeah,
You're just like, wait, what?
Right.
What do you mean? What do I mean? You know what I mean?
Like, no, I'm not trying to be feminist, trying to say, I was like, but, ultimately, I thought that maybe you want to get married or, and to say that you're good at certain things,
taking the chores, whatever it is, you could be a good husband. Like, if that person was a male, like, you'd say he'd be a good husband one day too. Like,
he would never get offended. He'd be like, oh, cool, thanks. And then on the another thing, oh man, it literally just popped out of my head. Fuck, I had a serious brain fart. What was I? Oh, but another thing, like if you think about it from this aspect of just dating, how many times have you been asked out on a date?
Never.
And I'm not Brad Pitt, and I won't admit to it, but I've always had to do it, and they've never had an issue with that. But if we go ahead and flip that thing, like, oh, we're all equal now, ain't no one going on a date.
I mean, someone's gonna take the step.
No one's gonna do it.
No, there are some that actually do.
No, there are some. I know that there's.
There are what we like to say in this bias. There are outliers.
Yeah, no, there
Yes.
are outliers. There's some women that do that, and that's awesome. I think that should be normal. It should be, just because I feel like we're under a lot of pressure because we feel like everything falls on us. Like, I don't think there's ever been a situation where I'm like, all right, well, at least I have them to take care of all this. Like, no, I feel like I've always felt like it's been on me, and that's the way I was raised in my household, and that's the way society treats everything. And then you have people saying, oh, well, we don't want it that way. We don't want it that way. Well, you've done nothing to try to change that. Zero.
Or if you do change it, they label guys as like, oh, he's not a man, or
Exactly.
You get emasculated real quick.
Exactly.
he's too nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's why. And I've said this before. It's like, oh, I want a nice guy. You're a liar.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate. And when I say you're a liar, it's because you're lying, because they were like, oh, we want a man that protects me, or I like a guy that puts me in my place. First of all. And I've always like.
Can I slap you anymore? No, well, I guess not.
No, because like Derek Jackson, I follow him. Like, you know, that's somebody I look up to on Instagram, and he always talks about, you know, like, you know, certain gender roles and certain, you know, certain things. Yeah. And one thing he said was, you know, no guy wants to be around. You know, there shouldn't ever have to be where a girl, oh, I like a man to put me in my place. You telling me you want a dad figure, like, because you didn't have one, so you feel that the man should be kind of like your dad on that standpoint?
Well, no.
And that, or, you know, or the fact that it should never have to get to that point where, you know, a guy has to say, look, you know, you need to chill your ass out. Like,
yeah.
It should be like, okay, hey, hon.
It should be give and take.
Yeah, no bull. Like, it should be like, hey, hon, you know, you're really acting out of pocket right now. Maybe we need to come down and talk about this. I
think every woman does want a nice guy, but that's on the down low. That's in between, like, me and you. Like if I want a woman to overpower me, that's between me and you, and that's on the low, right? Women want that, but now with all this women empowerment thing, they're like, okay, I kind of want that, but I also don't want to be left out of this whole movement, so I'm just going to pretend like I don't.
Mm-hmm. I think at base standard, no matter if you're a woman or a guy, you just want a competent person.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
like,
of course. But you know, what you get these views where it's like, oh, I don't want to have a half behind girl, or I don't want a half behind guy. Be like, well, you know, it's almost like you can't have your cake and eat it too. Do you want that thug? Now, if you want that thug, this is me going off on a tangent. If you want that thug, thugs come with certain stereotypes, comes with certain things that makes them a thug.
It's generalized. It's generalized.
It is.
That's true. But, you know, with the nice guy, you know, there are certain things, you know, a nice guy would do, but you're so used to getting mistreated by that thug.
Right.
And now here comes the nice guy who's actually trying to do. Now you're scared because you're not used to something like that. But I think I just went off on a long tangent. But
this is why I want to get stabbed in the dick rather than my face.
Because if you think about it though, I just feel that wherever you are in the hierarchy, that's where you can vocalize. You know, if you are working a normal, like if you're working 3 jobs to make ends meet, all that stuff like that, then you can't be mad at other guy doing the same thing as you. Or if you're not working at all and you expect him to do everything, then you can't be mad at him if he's in the same place you are. Mm-hmm. You can't be down here and search for someone up here and then talk about equality. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way.
Darwinism just follows.
Yeah, if you're a CEO, you got your own car, you got your own house and all that stuff, and you expect him to have the same thing, got you. Cool. But a guy will go low, will drop down.
Yeah.
He doesn't care. Your job is meaningless in his eyes. Like, that's not the thing we're thinking about when we're trying to find a woman. Do I like you? Do you have good personality? And do we, like, that's it. Your personality, are you physically appealing to me? Do we get along?
Yeah.
Your job isn't in that. And I really feel like for females, regardless of where they are in that tier, you gotta have your own shit, no matter what.
No matter what. I mean, we all just have dicks and pussies at the end of the day. Like,
and dick ain't worth shit. Dick's fucking stock has been going down since the 60s. All right. Ever since we've lost the ability to hit a woman, the dick's gone down. Dick is just whoop, 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 whoop. Pussy's on an all-time high. All right. You got pussy. You got some power. We ain't got nothing. You ain't gonna get no dick. Okay.
Hold on. And when we do say that, it's more along the lines of that, you know,
No, that's on all fronts. That's literally figuratively as everything. That's on all fronts. Dick ain't worth shit. You don't want it and I can't sell it to you.
But yet sex sells.
Hey, yeah, sex sells. That's why females are sex workers for the most part.
No.
How many male sex workers do you know? Real talk.
Don't worry.
And
That's a whole nother topic.
if you are in the sex industry as a male, you're a fucking 10. You're the 10%. If you're a woman, you don't have to be a 10.
I don't know. I can't comment. I've never.
Okay.
I'll do some more research before I make a comment.
Have you ever gone to any kind of website back, like, let's just talk about before there were pop-up blockers, right? Mm-hmm. And you see those average-looking chicks that be doing webcam shit? They make a living off that. Average-looking chick. Average-looking dude ain't doing that.
No.
You look. Average pussy is worth more than genuine dick.
Pristine penis.
Yeah, pristine penis. Would you like that? The double P? It's fresh. Nah, let me get that. Let me get that $5 pussy with the fucking the cobwebs.
With that slab on that sauce.
I can't. With
Just put some salt and a little bit of hot sauce and be good.
I can't.
This is great. This is great.
You be realistic. Like, think about it. Think about it. Your dick ain't worth nothing.
Yo, dick ain't worth shit.
It ain't. And I truly wish that it was just a minority thing. They was like, oh, it's just you. You're not good enough with it. Like no. It's everybody. Regardless of how big, and if you got a micro penis, then you're in the conversation. We're not talking about it. We're not talking about it.
Intelligence matters. If there's any intelligent woman out there, I'm currently single. Slide my DMs.
And look, that little harmless plug. I see you, Eisen.
All right, so we're gonna end it there. We're gonna learn enough. I appreciate the both of you for traveling. I had a lot of fun.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
this was a fun time.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Everything About Everything podcast, where we talk about any and everything.
And all things.
Peace, love, soul.
Deuces.
Oh,
Carson, do you have a social media?
Yeah, I have Instagram, okay. Carsonizing.com, or at Carsonizing. Just do that.
Just do me a favor, just like anything you got, just send it to me on text, and then I'll put it up on the...
Sounds good. This is a great conversation, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, I could talk about dick versus pussy all day.
That's why when I said, I was like, oh, you got him started. Damn it.
I'm just saying, it's either that or like race. I get deep in some racism.
Next time.
Next time on Everything About Everything.